how to do my job.
As soon as I go, grab my arm.
Guys, relax. Relax.
Relax. Grab me. Look how you grabbing me up.
You have picked up a case from out of state. And well, give me a second and I will let you. But, you know, here, so you know, we're not disputing the underlying charge. We're not fighting it. None of that matters.
One thing I want to note is as you're watching this case, I want you to notice that his demeanor, and this is going to be very common in a lot of these cases, but their demeanor starts off one way, but it ends typical. So you'll see a little bit more of what I'm talking about as we're watching this.
You really here are all about his identity, right? Are you this person? If so, how do we get you back to the jurisdiction that you're wanted from? So here it says that you are wanted from Michigan, Washtenaw, Michigan.
Washtenaw County, yes.
Yeah, Washtenaw County. And it says here that you're wanted out of there for armed robbery. So I know that you're going to tell me it's little bunnies jumping in the woods. It's not that big of a deal, yada, yada, yada. But my primary concern is public safety. We have enough death, dismemberment, and hysteria in Harris County as it is. And I don't want any more blood on my hands. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Shh. So your lawyer is asking me to set you a bond. And I don't know, because if you're a public danger, I'm going to have a hard time doing it. Right?
Understandable, Your Honor.
Oh, Miss Chisholm's not even here.
She just jumped off because she was just up there.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Your lawyer's not here.
Okay.
So until your lawyer gets back, I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to bring you back out, but your lawyer's not here. I can't talk to you without your lawyer here. So I'll bring you back out here as soon as she gets back, and then we'll go right through the rigmarole again. Okay? Sorry. I didn't even realize she's not here. Mr. Thurman, you're back.
So just so everybody knows too, in the court where this is taking place at, this is not the time, this is not a guilty verdict. This isn't a trial right now. That's why you can see in the background, there's people, they're laughing right to the left of the guy here. This is not a time where anybody's being proven guilty or not guilty. This is an arraignment where they're going to see how he wants to plead. And this is a bond hearing. Most of these cases are bond hearings. And I think it's important for people to know that, because this is a time for the defendant to give a reason why he should be set out at bond in his terms of conditions. He's trying to get out. If not, he's going to be held until a trial or something like that starts. Another district court comes in. But this right here is just talking about, it's just the judge seeing what is happening. And he's going to determine if he can let somebody out. So I just want you to remember that. That's why, you know, having a lawyer present is very key at this stage, because this is going to be used if this were to go to a later trial. All of this information will be used at a later point if the judge doesn't let him go now, or most of the time, if you're out on bond, you still might have a trial. But this maybe could be considered a pretrial, but I think that information is key for those people who want more information about the law and how it works. That's what's kind of going on here accurately. Now, let's get into what's about to happen here.
Okay. So I told you before, two of my main concerns are, or my two main concerns are, number one, are you going to go back to the jurisdiction where you're wanted from? And number two, most importantly, are you a danger to my public? I take public, safety. It's as important as my hair. You know what I mean? It's that important, right? Because I don't want anything to happen out there with my name attached to a bond. I try everything in my power to ensure that everybody's protected. And I see that you're wanted for a really serious case. It's an armed robbery, right? I mean, that's what you're wanted for. There's no denying it. That's what it says on the paperwork.
He's on lifetime probation in Michigan.
Lifetime? There's such a thing as lifetime probation?
There is.
Yes.
Whoa.
So that Kate, well, I'll let you do the talking.
No, he did his time and he got out. and lifetime probation out of Michigan. So that's what's happened. I believe it got,
So how on what would, aside from like a murder case,
So he was
what
charged
would
with
garner?
murder twice, along with 2 armed robberies.
I wasn't charged twice for no murder.
It just shows up.
it just shows up
Oh, I
twice.
was about to say, I wasn't charged
Murder
twice.
along with armed robbery or aggravated robbery in our jurisdiction. He's placed on probation. Since that time, he's been charged in our jurisdiction with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and felon possession of a weapon. In those, he had bond conditions when it started off, where he was ordered to have a GPS monitor. He has had multiple curfew violations on top of that noted. And so I do believe he's a safety risk, because even with literally an ankle monitor, he doesn't follow court conditions. And so I believe he is a safety and flight risk. And the fact that there was a weapon involved with multiple witnesses, some of them children, him threatening to murder them, is that I would be opposed to a bond being set. Also, it should be noted that because of the way the probation was transferred, I can't confirm, so I can't approach on it yet. But from what I see on the system is that he moved the probation to Texas, which means there's an ICA, but I don't have the documents, which is why I can't present them. If there's an ICA hold, he's ineligible for a bond, because that's an ICA hold. I don't have it, which is why I can't say, but if I get the documents.
Interstate compact agreement.
I understand. May I speak, Your Honor? Of course. Okay. After, we talking about the probation, I'm at the probation, the GPS curfew wise, my judge knows all that was going on. So he knows every information and why I've been late. I have evidence of why I'm late. So he knows everything that's going on with my GPS.
You're not supposed to be late.
He knows why though. So
I understand.
That's why he overlooked. He said, okay, it's fine.
Let me share something that's very important. The judge, it is not the judge or those who set the bond's responsibility to uphold the conditions of the bond. If my job that I am working at tells me that I need to be there at 9 o'clock and I show up at 9:30, I cannot put the onus on the bosses to let them know, hey guys, I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it. You know my situation. I have to take the bus. That's why I get here at 9:30. No, that's not how that works. It is my responsibility, if I want that position, to adhere to 9 o'clock as the start time. But that's why it is your responsibility. The onus is on you, the defendant, the one with the monitor, to make sure you are, and this is a biblical term, above reproach. Meaning that if anybody looked at it, 3 different judges can look at the same situation and come up with similar, if not the exact same, conclusions.
Quick question, is it a motion to adjudicate?
Well, no, it's still an open case. It's not under probation, but you're just asking if they do a bond violation report. They did on November 1st, 2024. They filed a motion to revoke.
Oh, so it's recent.
It's very recent.
So they've
It's
not
this month.
heard, okay, and then so there's not been a hearing on that yet, right?
No, but that's even after they amended the order. Also, he has further bond violation reports on December 18, 2023, another one on November 28, 2023, and that's after they amended it twice. One moment. So he seems to be agreeing with this. So the fact that he has 3 violations on top of having lifetime probation and a possible ICA, obviously, I'm still opposed for him.
Why are you on lifetime probation?
That's the way they set it up as. I took the plea deal
What are
for
you on probation for?
the armed robbery conspiracy to commit armed robbery. I did 5.5 years, came home off lifetime probation. And to continue what I'm saying, I'm a threat to, a flight risk. I can't be a flight risk. Every court that they set, I came every single time. Every court date that Michigan have set, I flew out there every single time. I knew I was getting locked up Monday. They told me that Thursday, I still showed up to court and got locked up. So there's no flight risk in this whatsoever if I'm been showing up every single time.
And you may be showing up, but at the end of the day, you continue to do what you want to do without regard to bond conditions.
And what do you mean by that, Your Honor?
Meaning that they put you a GPS monitor, and they give you a curfew
Yes.
and you don't abide by the curfew.
I was working, Your Honor. That's why the judge has stated, because they had my probation curfew time I forgot what time it had as, but I had started my new job because I came, got locked up, lost my other job. He said, okay, the violation he's talking about, I came into court and talked to the judge and he extended my curfew. He was like, okay, you've been working. I said, yes, I have documentation of new work. So I'll show all my documentation and he said, okay. So the stuff he's mentioning violations for, they already been taken care of. So he's not stating that either. He said 2023, obviously I'm still free, right or wrong. I'm still free. That means he's seen all the paperwork. Obviously, I came with legit paperwork.
And that's kind of where I was coming from at it. If it's a lifetime probation and it's curfew violations that he's still out, my speculation would be that he was able to make an explanation to the judge, and that's why he's not been revoked.
So hopefully nobody missed that, which is what they're saying is that, well, if he violated bond and it was severe, I mean, once you violate bond, it's over. You're going to back in jail and serve the rest of your sentence. But what they're saying is that if he's still out and the only thing that is a violation of his bond conditions is the curfews, but he's still out, it leads them to believe that there has been some sort of a off the record maybe or on the record exception to the matter, which is very rare. You just don't want to put, that's why the term above reproach is necessary, because now the judge has to now also weigh in these things to think if he's going to set you out, this is very difficult. You don't want to put someone else in this position to make a very important and impactful decision on your behalf. You want to make sure that you're doing that for yourself. It's called above reproach.
So here, as to the underlying charge, it's still a charge and that's what it is. Like he said, he turned himself in on Thursday knowing that he was going to get arrested and held. And so I'm sure that Michigan it's a probation violation because of the underlying charges. And plus that's where that MRP is probably coming from. I believe he's proven time and time again that he's gone to Michigan, taking care of what he needs to take care of, and he will still be here he's been on bond on the underlying case for about a year, Your Honor. He's not been locked up this whole time up until this recent arrest. So, and at this point in time, this is really just for if since we don't have proof of an ICA, if the judge is willing to set a bond, how much that would be, if there's a willingness to set a bond.
Let me read this to you.
Yes, Judge.
Texas Code of Criminal Procedure 17.03, NLR, out of state Michigan, armed robbery, armed robbery with a conspiracy, 2021. Probation transferred to Texas 3/20/21. Concurrently charged with murder, which was dismissed. No holds. Defendant is not indigent, and defendant is alleged to have gone to complaining witness's home and pointed a gun at complaining witness and complaining witness's 3 children because one of the complaining witness's children was involved in a dispute with defendant's sister at the child's school. Defendant threatened to kill, quote unquote, everyone in the home. Defendant then left complaining witness's home and came back with defendant's father, both ready to fight complaining witness and complaining witness's wife.
Okay, guys, you're the judge, would you let this guy out? Again, there's no trial. This is not what this is. This is a bond hearing. Should we let this guy out knowing he's on lifetime bond? I guess since we already explained the bond conditions, violations, but he's still out, let's just put that to the side. But now you hear this and you're the judge. You understand that, okay, maybe he has been doing good. He has been out for over a year. He did turn himself in. That's what the public defender is saying, knowing he would be held. So he's kind of operating in like a good faith. Not that he would get anything, but just he's operating in good faith. But when you hear the level of the thing, of what he's charged against, the conspiracy to commit armed robbery, and then now you're hearing this, as a judge, what would you do?
That's the aggravated assault that we have now. So, knowing that you're on lifetime probation for a very serious case, you know that you're supposed to be out there with a halo over your head. And yet you pick up an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon where allegedly a gun is pointed at kids. I mean, the way your mannerisms
Say something, Your Honor, that's why.
But don't, though. You have this open case.
Understandable.
Everything they can say, they can use it against you. My concern is public safety, man. And you got to understand that I don't know if you're guilty of this offense or not, but the problem is bad stuff keeps happening to you for some reason. It's like somehow, sometimes people are their own worst enemy. They get out and then something happens and then they just end up picking up another charge. It's like a cold. You pick up another charge, you pick up another charge here, you pick up another charge there, you don't follow bond conditions here. You know, Mr. Thurman, you scare me, man.
Let's throw out the bond conditions, because if I'm the public defender and with just one, correspondence with the previous judge that set his bond conditions and is monitoring him, the fact that he's been out over a year, and yes, those 3 violations, but he's still out. In my mind, public defender, attorney, lawyer, we could throw that out. But what the judge is saying is that's not what he's saying. It's like, okay, let's throw out the bond conditions, but now you have the aggro assault, and then you have the armed robbery. I think those are the same charges. They could be separate. And then you had the murder, which was thrown out. I guess that was tossed out. But he's saying this keeps happening to you, and I am the one who is choosing to let you out until your trial, which is, again, that is a blessing and it's a luxury, but it's not a right. But it's important to note that I want to share with people that maybe don't have all this information readily at hand, but are interested in the case laws and stuff, is that you do find patterns, and you have to be fair in law as a judge. But when you see patterns of crimes committed to a single individual, now you have a term that's called beyond a reasonable doubt, or just think of reasonable doubt. Now this person has reasonable doubt, or there is a more of a likelihood, because it's actually, the law isn't really black and white. Most of the time, judges or juries, if it goes to trial, most of the time they are operating off of percentages, likelihood. It has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that this is not happening. So when you see cases like this, and this isn't his first time of a run-in with this entire situation or the law, we're not blaming the system anymore. Now it's shifting closer to the individual. You see what I'm saying? It's very unfortunate that he's going through this, but if you see it from a judge's perspective, that's the lens they're looking at it from.
Can I scare you, Your Honor?
Yeah.
And I've been out for a whole year since this case happened, and this is my first time being into this courtroom again, and you're fearful for whose safety if I've been doing nothing but right and working.
That's not true.
That has been true. I've been out for a year on bond, and I have not been into this no courtroom, but in Orange Jumpsuit, I should say. Your courtroom, anybody's
You want
courtroom.
me to reward you for
I'm
being
saying,
a
but
good
you say you're in
person?
fear. You say you're in fear for safety. That's what I'm saying. Like, who are you in fear of? I have not been into
You're-
any trouble whatsoever. I've been squeaky clean. Just I bonded out.
And Your Honor, to your,
You don't get rewarded for being a good person out there. You know what I mean?
I
You're
understand.
supposed to be like that anyways.
I understand that wholeheartedly, Your Honor. I'm just saying, but you say you fear, and I'm saying, how are you in fear if I've not been doing anything? That's showing you. That should show you some type of sign. Like, okay, he's never doing anything wrong. So where is the fear come to play? That's what I'm asking you.
The fear is
Now notice the lawyer she's a public defender. She's trying her hardest to not interrupt him while he's speaking, but she understands, rightfully so, that he's kind of talking himself into a very tough position. When this goes to trial, because I'm sure he'll push for trial, depending on what the judge rules here. But this is not helping you. To say that you've been a good person for a year, and how am I, danger to the public, and not addressing the crimes, this doesn't help cases. It doesn't help people. But I do want to say, shout out to him for the year. It shouldn't be thrown out. Shout out for him trying to do the right thing for this amount of time. That should not just get thrown out into the woods. But what I will say, though, is that no one should be rewarded for doing the right thing. They should be encouraged to continue doing the right thing, but that's not a reward. The default isn't bad. Oh, and I did a little bit of good. The default should be good, and then you make a couple bad decisions. That should be life. That is a life where we can all coexist. It's just common law. See what I'm saying? That is not policies and codes. That is just common law. That's more of divine law. It's just we have to do unto others as they would do unto us. But when you start to get into this place of hey, don't you see I've been good for a year? That is a difficult position to put yourself in. And that is why when you ask for a public defender or you ask for a lawyer, it is best to just let the lawyer speak. Unless you want to give a little bit here and there, but it's best to try to stay calm. And this is what should be taught to people in these positions. They should be taught these things ahead of time. I'm sure she probably gave them a rundown. In your best interest, I'm going to do my best to get you the most favorable outcome for you, depending on your situation.
It's really because, when people come here, it's little bunnies jumping in the woods, rainbows, gumdrops. And then when they get out there, they turn into different people. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. And I don't want that. Like, I don't want someone out there to suffer because we let you out. I let you bond out. You've got an armed robbery, you've got an ag assault. You continue to violate conditions on those bond, right?
those
That
are
shows
two
me that you're not willing to abide by bond. I mean, quite frankly, you're lucky to even be out on those charges with the ankle monitor, and you continue to violate.
Remember what I said, that the ankle monitor, if you get an ankle monitor, that is the benefit of the doubt. That is the grace right there.
You keep saying violate, like if I was in violations they have on file, by the way. Those have been taken care of. Once again, you keep on saying violations, but they took care of. The felony court judge seeing I have proven, what's the word I'm looking for? Just proven, facts that this is why I'm late. I have a new job. I got fired because I got arrested from the other job, so I started a new job. For me having a felony in my position, and just call it what it is, a young black man with a felony, it's hard for me to get a job anywhere. So the jobs I do get, I take up on those. So it's hard for any shift they open up for me, I'm going to take it and show my work ethic to them. So I let the judge know that. He sees that. He understands, like, okay, that's why you keep on bringing up violations. I have to work. I have to eat. I have to have a house to live in, like anybody else here. So you keep on bringing that up. I'll keep saying, I already talked to the judge about it. He granted it already. He let it go. That's why I'm still free to this day. Well, was free to this day. And you keep bringing that up. You saying threat to your fear, which is understandable. Everybody gonna have fear, but I have not been into any trouble. I've been working.
And you've been working for a year. And you know what? That is why, and I want to say this. I really want to say this because this is important for us, for anybody watching these videos. And I think it's important for me to use my voice and give a breakdown. I do not believe, though, that one decision should define you for your entire eternity. I do not. Some decisions hold greater weight than others, but I don't believe that one decision completely defines you as an individual. And therefore, hereto after, you are now the decision that you made back then. I don't believe that. I think that people make micro bad decisions all the time, and we don't look at them for cutting somebody off when they're driving. I don't know, whatever you think fits that violations in the micro level. But we make bad decisions all the time. We lie, we're deceitful, we're not honest. And this guy, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I also have the potential victims given the trial in my mind as well. But when I see a guy and he does say for a year, he's been trying to do good, he's never been in a courtroom, those 3 violations again, I think we can just put those to the side right quick. Given further information from the felony court judge that ruled on that or has been presiding over the fact that he's still out, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on those things. The hard part is giving him the benefit of the doubt around other people, given the history. And that's where the personal accountability at the end of the day comes in. But when I see these videos, it's easy for me, or it's easy for us to judge these people based on what we see or hear. But in this point, I kind of do feel for him a little bit.
For a whole year, I've been on my P's and Q's. And like you said, the police report that you're reading, sir, the case is still open, so I can't really speak on it. I'm pretty say much, but it's a lot more to what you're just reading on that police report. It's always going to be video cameras,
Sure,
and house ring cameras, body footage. It's going to be a lot more other things. that you're not gonna be able to read off a police report, which is understandable.
Just too much blood, Mr. Thurman. I'm sorry. I can't set you on.
Sorry.
It's just too much. I'm sorry. Hey, this
You do
isn't,
not walk away.
this isn't,
I said, okay, it's fine.
really. I understand that you're hurt, Mr. Thurman, but look,
I've been doing my best, Sean, and y'all sit here telling me I'm the bad guy, and I've been doing nothing but my best of my abilities, working, staying out of trouble, and you're a threat, and I'm a threat to society. Really, for a whole year, I've been out, and they just not issue a warrant for me just now recently, and I come to turn myself in, and I'm a threat to society. And people, you fear me for what? From turning myself in and show you that I'm not running for nothing. I'm not running for anything. I'm innocent, and I'm coming to show you I'm innocent by turning myself in. But y'all a threat. You can let go of me, sir.
Stop.
You can let go of me.
You don't not tell me how to do my job.
You can let go of me. Grab my arm too tight.
guys, relax, relax.
I'm too tight. All I said, grab me. Look how you grabbing me up.
Back up.
Mr. Thurman.
Look how they grabbed me. I said you let me go a little
I get
bit.
you, but you gotta calm down.
I'm calm. I just asked
You're
him a
not
question.
calm.
I asked him why she let me go a little bit, sir. That's all I said.
Open the door.
That's all I said. What do you make somebody cuss you out or anything?
And that's how this ends. And my closing comments and thoughts is it's unfortunate that people are in these positions. It is sad. But at the same time, right there, at the very end, 30 minutes into this video, right there, proves and says everything that everybody needed to know. And that is where your own personal accountability, your own actions ends up mattering the most. So right when they didn't give him what he wanted, you saw how his entire demeanor changed. Oh, so you guys don't, now I'm a threat to society, and then he tries to walk off. All right, I'm cool, I'm out over it. So it would lead someone to believe, because this could be used in a court of law if I'm a prosecutor, so that would lead someone to believe that once Mr. Thurman doesn't get what he wants, then he might have a higher likelihood or an increased propensity to then do what's in his best interest. And it doesn't matter if it's in the detriment of another party. He's showing signs, even in the court. This is what a prosecutor would use. You could see it in the video. You can see it in the court. He is showing higher likelihoods of a lack of accountability and aggression. And his whole mood's changed. So if you have an aggro assault and you see how he looks here, you can use this against him. And for everybody in the public, you're not defined by your position. God died on the cross for not just the 12 disciples plus the 70 or the 120 or whatever, and the people that believed in him, but he died on the cross even for the Romans that put him up there. So I don't believe that this is the end of Mr. Thurman's story at all. But what I am going to say, and especially to the Black community, especially to my communities, what I would say is that we do have to do a better job. We do have to do a better job of having increasing accountability. And you could say that the system is set up against us. I don't believe it's set up against us. What I do believe is that based on pop culture, our music, largely in part, we are, and even the history that we've, taken in, I do believe that we're not on an even playing field to start, but I do believe that the end goal is absolutely up for grabs. It is absolutely based on your own actions, and nobody will deny your work ethic. Nobody will deny the good things that you do. They might bat an eye, they might say a word, but I have seen too many success stories in my personal life of men of great affluence and of color that have done incredible things. And I don't believe that just because of our skin color, that ultimately determines our outcome. No. That's completely based on you. For Mr. Thurman, I think he can take this to the next level if he so chooses. My whole thing is, guys, make sure that you give this a like and a comment, because I want to know your thoughts below. We're going to do more videos on this. This is Mo Unfiltered. Please subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in.